have a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. I will have the roll call.
Yes. Sandra Cavazos Ayala. Present. Minnie Paz. She was here, but she had to leave. Roberto Ortiz.
Here.
Esmeralda Rodriguez. She's here. Yes, she's virtually. Virtually. Angelica Salinas. Present. Rosa Maria de Llano.
Present.
Estelvina Perez.
Present.
Rafael Romo.
Present.
Present virtually. We have a quorum.
Okay, very good. There's no citizens' comments at this time, so we'll move on to the minutes for reading and approval from last meeting on July 27th, 2022.
Yes, we read them, and I move we approve them with spelling corrections
Okay,
that I've already mentioned to Angie.
Yes.
I second.
okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, and it carries. So thank you for the approval of the minutes. Communications and announcements? Nothing?
Nothing.
We're good? All right, staff reports.
Okay, so under staff reports, I am Analisa Perez Gomez. I'm here for Ms. Ruiz. Hello, welcome everybody. So I just wanted to report that for staffing, I'm going to be letting you know what the vacancies are right now. Clerk 1, there are 2 positions. There's 1 position open for library technician 2, also another one for library technician 3, librarian 3 as well, and librarian, which here at Maine, and librarian 2 at ICB. I believe in the last meeting it was reported that the librarian 3, there was a selection made. It's still in process. Okay. The next report has to do with Bruni, and there is a comparison in your packet of the statistics, the 3-year comparison. And you can take some time to review that. It will be reopened. We're still waiting on the timeline, but I know staff are actually this week they're at Bruni in the mornings to fix the building up for the opening. Also, 2 other departments are moving to that north side of the building. It has always been a shared building within, since it had been reopened.
They're on Washington, right?
Yes.
So it's
When is it
going to
gonna
be at
open?
the Bruni Plaza?
I'm sorry?
Okay, when is it gonna open?
We don't have an exact date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're just starting to get it ready. I know that we should be getting a more precise date in the future.
But
And
is it
said-
going to be at the Bruni Plaza?
It's,
Because
yeah, it's actually staying at that building.
Where it was
It
before?
is staying,
Yes.
because we had talked about maybe going to the federal
It-
building across the Jarvis Plaza.
So at this point, it's going to
Staying
return,
at
yeah, it's
Bruni.
gonna stay
Oh,
there,
okay.
and they are working on that particular building. I don't know if anyone wanted to make a comment on the Bruni report.
I think that's a great thing. You don't lose a building that's there to another department at least in its entirety, and it allows the community to continue to have an accessibility, because that's always the
Yes.
point of the libraries and the sciences, is accessibility, particularly to things like internet and stuff, and so, and just so much information. So that's good.
Yes, and I would like to bring something up. I'd like to know when the opening will be, so that it could be something nice, and that we can attend.
Yes.
And have balloons and stuff, and really, make it exciting, so the community can be aware and get the media there and everything and
Get
announce
the
it.
media there, please.
Do you all agree?
Yes.
I agree.
Okay,
certainly
so
agree.
please let us know so we
Yes.
can put it on our calendar as soon
Yes.
as possible, and we can make plans for that. We really should do something
Sure.
big, okay?
Sure, definitely. And I'm also reading in Ms. Solis's notes that there are some renovations on that north side, the office space for the other
Right.
departments. So that's probably why we don't know the exact date at this point.
Okay.
So I believe there were questions about the Spanish book clubs
Yes.
at the last meeting.
It's because there were no statistics in
Okay.
April, and I'm a member of that LPL, and we met, and we had a good, 10, 12, I don't know.
Yes. So I believe that it was just something that was not reported because Marina was at TLA. So
Oh.
it's something that still can be added onto it,
Okay.
but it was a good catch.
Yes.
And Mrs. Risha's Spanish Book Club is not reported as a
Yes.
program, it's reported as a room use. because the library does not facilitate
Yes.
that particular
It's
program.
reported as a what the?
Room use,
Room
so it's in the stats,
Yes,
but it's
yes.
not a library program.
Correct,
Yes.
right, yeah, she explained that to me.
Yes, and I talked to
She's
Ms.
still on
Ruiz.
Selena?
Yes,
Yes, but I talked to her,
Yeah.
personally, and she said, no, you do yours and I'll do mine. Yeah, like, yeah,
you do
it's
it.
fine,
It's
it's
fine.
fine.
Okay, then we also have the branch checklist, if you want to review those, and if you have any questions, I'll do my best to give you an answer. That's in your packet, the checklist.
Oh, that's what we're doing, the one, yes. This is, yes, that's why I can't have my program, so it's a chunk, yeah. That's what we're having here.
For which one?
For Moss?
For Moss, no, that one is, so we have a leak in the lobby area that is covered by risk management, by claim. The other leak that's in the lower part is a structural issue. So I did receive an email today from, TML who investigated, they cannot cover it, but they did give us some insight as to what's wrong.
Because it's gonna be raining.
Yes.
Mhm.
I love the rain, but when it rains, I worry.
You're wrong, yeah. Please understand.
Any other comments
So,
about it?
this vacancy, the part-time or unfunded, what?
Yes, so at the Moss,
Uh-huh.
at the Moss Library, so those were, yes, they're unfunded, so they're not in the current budget.
Okay, so those not, there's not one of the ones that you talked about earlier?
No.
Okay. The ones that you brought up earlier, are they for this library or for?
So I believe the majority of them are at this library. I think the only one that's not is the librarian two, which is at ICP.
Okay, got it, thank you.
I guess next time we'll be including, since it's gonna reopen the Bruni, maybe updates on that, right?
Good point,
It's
Robert.
I'm so happy that it's
Yeah.
opening soon. Yeah. It seemed like far away.
Yes, I was going there the other
Yes.
day and I said, I would, it just needs for them to go and read whatever they can.
Well, there's been questions, the staff as, when they go in and they're working on the building, people are asking that. Yes,
Yeah,
when
that's
are you
wonderful.
opening?
That's good.
That's wonderful. And that's also very old library, Mr.
Yeah.
Wahaba used to be
That was my library.
Yeah, Mr. Wahaba.
Mr. Wahaba used to be there, so,
Mhm.
I mean, also at
It
that.
would be nice
yeah,
to
but it's-
rekindle,
yes.
that.
Have this
lot of
picture
history.
there,
Yes,
yeah,
uh-huh.
I'm sure they have this picture somewhere, I'm sure. Probably here they have it in the historical
You know,
collection.
When years back, I've been on the board, 16 years almost, years back, we went to one of the libraries that was going to be remodeled. I don't know if you remember. And we just saw what it was before, so that we could see what was gonna be, like maybe we could meet over there sometime and just visit and see what's going on, and then,
The Brunei?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't have.
No, whenever we, like when
Oh,
we can,
when
and
we
there's,
can.
and we went, and I think we just met in a little room on the side. I don't remember, Angie, I remember it was so somewhere in the south that we went one
Or
time.
maybe Moss.
And
You did visit the
Or is it
last
Moss?
batch, it was
Was it
before we
Moss?
opened.
before you opened?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
okay, remember that? And so we just went and we had our meeting there, and we saw what was going on, and then the before
Yes.
and after.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
And it would be something nice to
To
do,
see that.
some, maybe, I don't know, whenever it is safe, that we can actually go in there,
Sure.
and we can have our one of our meetings there,
Yes.
and just see what it's like, and then what it's gonna be
Yeah.
like when it's open.
Or that.
Yes,
If
that'd
you
be
talked
cool.
about history, and I said, hey,
Yes.
that would
Yeah.
be something
Yeah,
to
Mr.
see all of
Yeah,
that.
Mr. Rothbard.
Before,
Just,
yeah.
Just like,
Up
yeah.
past
You wanna
the
bring that up and
history
see?
and
I will, I'll
When-
leave that
when
note for
we
Ms.
can do
Solis.
that? Yeah, that would be interesting, yeah, something different. Yes, I remember we did
And
it.
we're so happy that it's opening soon.
Yes,
Yeah, there's a great need downtown,
Yes.
yeah.
okay, sorry.
No, no, no,
No,
that's the point.
that was
That's
wonderful.
that's a good point.
Yes. A good
Are there any other questions about the monthly checklist at any one of the branches?
Oh, no, no further.
Okay, so the next section is the review of the flyers, the recent and upcoming library programs and services.
They can check.
They could check out the videos. And some of the little kids, I could get more stacks of
Oh,
those.
qué hermoso.
And their little satchels. So.
What kind of refreshments will you serve at your poetry? It says refreshments will be served.
Yes,
Wonder-
refreshments, light, it says
Yeah,
light.
yeah.
Oh,
Who
yes.
provides them?
Yeah, the
The
library,
library,
the
you,
library like that.
the
The
budget,
sandwiches, it's sort of like this, Bob.
Ah, I'm just
Yeah,
wondering.
sort of like this.
But
But Roxanne is, Roxanne is the one in charge, you know, Roxanne,
Yes.
she's my right hand
Ah,
person, I mean, really. And, sort of
I,
like
I've been
this,
to
but
one,
for
and they're
50
very
persons.
interesting.
Ah, wow, that's a
We
good
should
turnout.
try to come.
You should try to come, you know,
That's a good
because
turnout.
this one, we talked about the, from Dena,
Mhm.
about
Borderlands.
the prompt is to live on the borderlands means. But I'm going to use Gloria Anzaldua's book,
Mhm.
the New Mestiza, Borderlands, the New Mestiza. And I was telling Sandra, the poem is harsh because she lives in the valley where she used to live. She died 2004. She's great, she's a great writer. And it's harsh, it's very harsh. She had a lot of discrimination and a
In
lot.
the valley.
Yeah, in the valley, and we've talked. Here in Laredo, you know, I already started with.
It's already existing.
No, we don't have the same, but I read a little bit about her poem, and they don't relate that much, but I give them a little story
That's good.
of what it is. So this time is gonna be mostly on Saldua, to live on the borderlands, because as I finish my term as poet laureate, I want to leave something, and I wanna leave a book of to live on the border means. So así le vamos a llamar,
That's
or
good.
to live on the border means, or to, or another title,
Or, yeah, living on the
as
border,
we,
or My life on the border. or-
yeah, as we get more poems, right now it just started with the border slam people with Armando Lopez.
Mhm.
They invited me, and as we get more poems, and we're gonna compile them and
Good.
see what we're going to call it.
That's
But that's so
September
come,
13th.
and,
Okay.
maybe you can write poetry, you never know,
Yeah, maybe.
you never know.
You never know.
Never
Se
know.
inspiran en Gloria Anzaldúa, then I say some of mine.
Gloria Anzaldúa.
Anzaldúa, look her up, she's famous. Anzaldúa, she's a famous. Anzaldúa, she was born on. And of course, it's in Spanish, in Spanish, because that's our dialect of the region. So, I'm a Spanish teacher, but we insist Spanish.
Any other comments or anything from, questions on?
No, they continue to be beautiful
Yes,
graphic
they do.
design.
Yeah, Nikki is the lady who was here, the person who was here, Nikki Acosta, and she is terrific. She does all these, graphic designs, and she surprises me every time, they do a good job. And of course, like I said, Roxanne Garza, the librarian, who is my liaison, is just excellent. I couldn't do any, what I'm doing without her.
We'll pass on the compliments.
See.
We're happy to hear that you are happy as well.
Yes, Ms. Solis knows that I want to adopt her.
You can't take her home.
Su mamá no me la da.
That's very nice.
Sí.
Thank you. Thank you.
Need a conversational Spanish. Who's doing conversational Spanish?
Sylvia.
Manchala. Es en español. Oh my goodness, she's doing the Spanish, that's wonderful. She grew up with my sisters.
So
across the
involved.
river. Yes, see, that is what I say over and over. We have wonderful programs here in this library. It's just, I mean, it should be the jewel of the community. Así vamos. The jewel of the
I
crown.
like the way that sounds.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's true.
I mean, we offer so much for our community, and we are not, I mean, people don't know, like, I've been here, how many, since 2015 or 16, I'm not sure. But I had been to the kids' home, but I had never brought a child to be entertained. I mean, they were totally entertained, they didn't even know we existed.
Yeah.
And they wanted to take the books, of course they couldn't take them to Monterrey. So I bought them the 25 cents,
Yeah.
so they could take those.
Yeah,
And, you
and
know,
that's part of, I know it hasn't been, I know at one of the meetings we requested, years ago, Mrs. Solis had given us a report about the return on the investment of the public's dollar. Like, you're getting so much back for every dollar in here. I think that's something that should be brought to focus again.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And we talked about that at the last meeting, but apparently Ms. Solis hasn't gotten a call, so I'm gonna call the mayor again to see, hey, are we gonna be on some kind of attending, because, before he leaves, because
That's
remember,
true, he's
up for,
Yeah,
the
he's
new,
up
and then
for
that's
November.
it, so I think we should do it before November.
Sí.
You can, and just so the public realizes that
Yeah.
it's a lot of work from a lot of great people that work here at the public library, and it's a system that, there's a lot of city systems out there, and I think this is the one that works the best, so it needs to be highlighted, it needs to be congratulated to those and recognized, and so the public realizes all these things happen at your public library, and to continue to reinvest in it, that's something, because there is a big return on the dollar.
I wanted to ask, who's the No Pressure Book Club, who's doing this?
Also, Sylvia.
Sylvia
Marichal.
Marichal.
Wow,
This
she's
is a
really-
new one, I haven't seen this one, right?
It's a new
This
one.
is a new one, and that's wonderful because, no pressure. Because we're with the literacy volunteers with Marina, but we have to read, but people come and say, well, I haven't had time to read. And it's okay, we can talk about it, but I like the no pressure.
Yes,
No,
it's a
Sylvia
good title,
Marichal. She knows
Yeah.
what I am. And, yo más dile, dice que sus hermanas eran tus amigas. So, nombre, Sylvia Marichal, dile que se alegre, that I said so. Preschool.
I'm just wondering, am I missing it?
Yes.
Is there a place where it says that she's the presenter? It doesn't say.
No, it
No,
doesn't say.
You don't do that?
We don't often do that, unless it's something that, if you have questions, please call this person. Sylvia is actually stationed here at the main library. Right now, while we are recruiting for librarian 2 for that area, for ICB library, she is covering. So she
Oh.
is not a permanent,
Oh, so she's
Librarian.
covering for whoever
yes.
comes.
Okay.
She is not a permanent librarian there, but she is doing a
But she is a
fantastic job.
librarian.
Yes, she
Yes,
is. She's a
yes,
librarian
she's-
here at the main
Yes,
library.
she's a full-time librarian.
Okay.
She was coming from McAllen, right?
Yes.
She was at McAllen.
She retired from that library system.
Oh,
Okay.
She has a lot of experience.
She's very good.
Yeah.
and she's-
Okay, so that's why, you don't
Yes.
really wanna put names because it doesn't, it
It
won't
might
stay, it might change.
Okay, loco, 1, 2, 3, play
But I'd
with
like
me.
to meet her and
Sensory story
go
time
to
on me.
one of those artists.
Right, poetry laredo, calla. I mean, all wonderful programs.
Yes, very
thank you.
good, good job.
Okay, so we'll look at the monthly statistics. there, I've been noticing that on the inner city branch, sometimes the numbers are significantly lower than the other branches. I don't know if you've noticed that. Right? And I'm just wondering, is it some sort of promotion that I know we've talked about this a lot, but maybe at the, I know there's a housing community there, you know, other areas, maybe that can be promoted for some of the programs, for some of those, you know, that we have. Because if you look at it, it's like it's just a noticeable difference at inner city branch compared to the other branches for certain things. Over and over again, in every column, I guess you'd say, a row of information, you just notice it just keeps popping up.
But I was wondering if, I've never been to the inner city, but is it a much smaller library?
It's small,
It's
It's
much
small.
smaller.
But
but it's a nice, I mean,
I've never been there,
Oh.
so, you know, maybe we should meet there too.
we've met there before.
We've met there.
Oh,
we
yeah.
got lost in there before.
Not in the last 6 years.
Yeah, we've met.
Well, I will
Wow.
say, I don't know from experience, but I have heard from the previous head librarian, branch librarian there, is that it really isn't a library that focuses a lot on loaning resources. The previous librarian found that it was very strong in getting people for classes, LVO classes, language classes, GED, those types of things. And because of the transition that we have, I think that's where the issue lies. But now
Okay.
that LVL is there, Literacy Volunteers,
See, it's
you're
there.
good, I mean,
Yeah.
Should
we
see
can
it.
expect great
Yes.
numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
good.
And they had that's where they had the rock wall.
Yes.
Yes.
So we went to visit the rock wall, remember, and we met there a couple of times. I know we did so one that got lost. And I was, I'm coming, where do I turn?
My only concern with that is simply that, and I know that that's the branch that was looked at before for being, I think at one time, being taken away,
Yes,
you know?
we had to defend.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
And that's why, that's the only reason I bring that up.
And there's always room for improvement, so,
Sure.
you know, if we can do better there, then let's do it.
Yeah, so I just would like to, you know, just to solidify that, hey, all the branches, all
Yes.
being used, all being, so,
Yes, I agree.
just,
Yeah.
just as a note of reference, I guess, is what I'm
And just
saying.
because it hasn't been strong in the past in one area doesn't mean it couldn't.
Right.
Right. Because it's like programs in our district, if you're not using it and the numbers aren't there, then we're not paying for it anymore, bye, it's gone.
And things
Yeah.
come and go, and you know,
Yeah.
seasons, reasons, and
But that's a
stuff
whole
like that.
building, that's brick and mortar, we don't wanna lose that
Yeah.
thing. So, okay.
I do want to commend you on the children's program and the young adults program. There's 745 here attendance in the month, last month. The inner city had 134, which is not bad, you know.
But you see how it's even
Yes,
there?
I know,
There's
I
you
know.
see the differences?
Yes.
So.
But if it's a small one and a small,
Right.
you know, it goes to small. And I wanted to ask about the volunteer hours.
Yes.
Who volunteers? Where-
So at my location, a lot of, it's primarily teens and preteens. So our programs and volunteer opportunities are open to 5th through 12th graders.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
And here too? do you
So
know?
at Main Library, I would say that in the TAB program, which is preteen and teen, it's 5th through 12th graders, but then there's also adults that help with some of the more traditional duties, shelving, cleaning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I believe Jackie Jackie, the children's librarian, does interviews of teenagers.
That's
to help
wonderful.
with that.
I think it's wonderful for teenagers.
Like what we did.
See.
Yes.
That's right.
And they
Get
did-
And
the
the
hours.
community hours.
They get community hours. But I think, yeah.
But there's also, especially here at the main library with the teen advisory board, leadership opportunities. So they do plan events, they do come together
Yes.
and meet and discuss
Yes.
how they can make the library better.
Good.
Yeah, like an advisory.
Yes.
My kids were in it.
Yes, they
Your
were.
kids were in
They
it?
were teens. They
Really?
were teens.
Really? But now one is a seminarian. Yes, but he was here as a volunteer.
Yes.
Wonderful.
With the teen board.
Wow.
Yeah,
advisor.
so nice.
That's wonderful.
I had the opportunity to work with them, because I was stationed here at the
Yes.
time. Yes.
See,
They loved it.
see, this is not, see, and this, I didn't know. I'm just asking, and I think you're.
Yeah, so
I
many
didn't
things,
know.
so many things are
See,
going on.
and of course, my grandchildren aren't here, but I have sobrinos, so that I'm going to recommend. But again, we need the public to know that this is happening. This is something.
We can always do better at telling our story. I know that we
Yes,
communicate this with librarians and counselors at the local schools, and we put this information on social media, we put it on our website, but it's something we have to repeat,
Yes.
repeat and repeat,
See.
and make sure people remember.
Definitely,
Uh-huh.
it will be putting in a call.
See, in the advisory board.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
And
Next is-
congratulations, put it there.
Library Advisory Committee reports. Do we have committee reports?
What was it, the quarter, no, the, stats for the year, for the pruning. Like we requested, I think that was.
Oh, we talked about
We
learning
talked
in
about
the staff reports.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it was there from last time, because remember, we were supposed to call our representatives.
Yes, and I know
we were
that
gonna-
it was
yeah.
in the minutes how
Yeah, so I think that it stays as
Something-
an item,
the
yeah.
success item.
And again, so I'm going to report that I will be making, we're gonna continue, yeah, make, yes, to see if we can get something, hopefully in October, late, maybe late
Yes.
September or
Sure.
October, okay?
Okay.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because yeah, in May, in
Voting is in
November,
November.
yeah.
But he's still,
No,
stays.
he'll be done, well, till
And-
January,
Till
right?
January.
Yeah, but still, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
hopefully the sooner the better,
September
maybe
sounds
But
December.
there's a lot of people, isn't there, and runoff, and then they,
Well,
there's,
Well, it depends, whoever wins for mayor.
there's like 8.
there'll
people
probably be a
running.
runoff, yes.
There's gonna be a runoff,
Yeah, there'll probably be.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, we'll see whatever
yes,
happens.
8.
Any items for discussion and possible action, next time, anybody have anything on their agendas?
And we do have a tentative date of September 28th at 5 p.m.
September 28th.
September 28th.
And that's the last,
See, that's what, I see.
Oh, I was thinking about the possibility, because I see the billboards, have you all had, I know the sheriff's department is offering the active shooter training, where he'll go to any, you said any one of your buildings or whatever. Is that something that's been considered, just so we can, find out how, everybody can see the system in place that's on paper right now?
So staff have had or attended active shooter training,
Okay.
and it was presented by the police department. We can let Ms. Solis know maybe that you want to know how many staff attended.
Well, I guess to see, like, was it where they came in and they actually had an active shooter, is that what was done, or? was
No,
it-
no,
It was a training.
See, and that's the part, that's the one I'm asking.
it wasn't the.
Yeah.
make
I
believe
think
or-
they're offering the one that's a make-believe one, I guess, where they have body, they have a shooter.
Really, and it's-
Yeah, because I think in only those cases do you realize the flaws in the system that's set up, and does everybody remember from the police training what they're supposed to do? Just like a drill, in other words.
Yes.
So I think that's something that should be done in each one of the branches, really, maybe over time, right? So everybody's aware. I mean, that's what always been on my concern, is it's such a open target, that anybody walks in, and there are kids that come here, and that's all, I know it's on our minds all the time, and oh my God, it's so overwhelming. Another layer and I understand the work is fine, because I have to do it myself, but I just think it's something that does need to get done at each one of our branches. Maybe ask Ms. Solis the possibility, because I know we're under city, and that would be a county thing, I get that, but perhaps is there a way that the logistics could be worked out to entertain the actual drill with the sheriff's department, since the other one's offering it,
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll communicate that.
Okay.
Angie was just letting you know that we had 100% participation in
Oh,
the
good,
training
good.
offered by LPD.
Good. Because then there are other trainings, like, do they know, I know, because we have to know our teams. what's it called, like stop the bleed trainings, I don't know what you call that, you know, with applying pressure, tourniquets, CPR, or any of people on staff that are trained in those?
Just like with a lot of other things, the pandemic kind of,
Yeah.
you know, threw us for a loop. We are returning to our regularly required yearly trainings or every 2 years when it comes to CPR and first aid. For example, today we had the EEOC training that we attended just previous to this meeting. So, if you would like, I can communicate that as well to Ms. Solis. to see
Yes,
when,
so it's mostly things on safety, so are there stations in each of the public libraries, are there like, AEDs, are there, I don't know if you're familiar with those?
Mhm.
Yeah, AEDs, are they displayed, are they up to, are there,
The defibrillator.
the defibrillators?
Oh,
And, I know we have in our campuses now even a whole area for, it has, in case someone's has a wound of some kind, to apply tourniquets, is that maybe something that our public library should have now also, it's just a just in case scenario.
right, and I
Right.
think it's very important, Bob.
So just something, just these things to think about,
Yeah.
that's all,
Yes.
just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thinking ahead, makes sense.
I was just thinking, when they open the Bruni library, there are many transients, right? And a lot of homeless people there. It would seem that maybe, maybe being very pessimistic, the probability of just people walking, you know who they are, more so
Yeah.
down there, and you need to be with the training, you said the
You know, it's identifying an active shooter, and,
active shooter. yeah.
I mean, I don't know, just
You
something.
have to have a security.
They'll have a security right
Just
there
like we
here
do.
at the entrance,
Yeah.
In that area,
yes.
downtown.
Well,
But
they're
they have one
everywhere.
here,
We
right
have
there.
one here too.
Right there when you
Yeah,
come in,
when you
there's a
come in.
security.
They're everywhere, right? You have one at every library, right?
We have one at the Moss Library, at this location. We had one in Faskin for summer, but I don't believe that's gonna be year round. So I
But
need
they
to
should-
hire
they
about
should have
30.
one.
The
there.
Bruni should be there
They
all the
should.
time, like this one, right here. Yeah, because of the location, just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, and maybe there could be something done, this would be in coordination with the city police, cause I know it's already being done with the county
Oh, a little
police at schools.
substation there or something.
Well, that even be better, because
Yeah.
I know right now, we're actually having deputies who come on our campus at all hours during the day. You'll just see them start patrolling
Yeah, a
the
little
hallways,
police
in
substation.
addition to the police officer that's assigned and security.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
that helps, because you see a vehicle, not just UISD police, but you see Webb County vehicle, deputy, and then you see, he's walking around. He's just always walking around the building, checking the doors. Maybe that's something that could be done in coordination with the city. It's like, okay, because these officers do stop, and they have to fill out reports, and I get it, and their office is their vehicle that they're in. But what would say, hey, you know what? Have a space reserved at the libraries. Park here where you're doing your
Yes.
report. Just the presence is always welcome.
Just that, or are you suggesting a substation?
Well, I mean, that would be something for sure, that'd be
Yeah.
fantastic to have in them, but that gives up space. Some places are too small, like the Bruni, to even have anything.
But if they're informed
but if-
that they can even just park there, like
Right.
you said, is
If
enough
they
as
can
a
just park
deterrent.
there, and it's
Yeah.
there, and anybody, let's say, God forbid, an active shooter attempts, they go, oh, there already is a cop there. You know, that in
It's a
itself
deterrent.
could,
And
exactly.
that can be brought up when they, before they open it or as they're gonna.
Yes,
Yes.
and just anecdotally, I know that at Moss they do park there and they work
Oh,
inside their
that's
vehicle.
great.
See, and that would be encouraged at
Yeah.
all of them.
And I've noticed also that around the time that we're closing, which is a very good time to stop by, they are.
Awesome.
they
Good,
are there.
that's great.
See,
Very good.
I suggest we should have it for the, yeah.
For Bruni, just to, yeah.
Because of the location, like Catalina said, that's, yeah,
Mhm.
there's a lot of transients.
A lot of transient, and those bus
Yes,
stations are
yes.
within a block or
And
2 blocks.
Bethany
Yep.
House is closed, and,
Yep. That's right.
Bethany House and the bus stations, and, yeah, just to be on the safe side.
Safety is very important. Libraries need to be
Yes,
safe.
Yes, yes. Nothing.
Any other, library advisory committee member absences?
No, we're all present.
Okay, I do wanna make sure we get it on the, I wanna compliment Mr. Romo's, choice of the cap. Go Cowboys, thank you, Mr. Romo, I appreciate it, just want you to know, America's team, there it is on the record.
No, that's what I'm saying.
We didn't see his face, just a.
Go Eagles, Philadelphia. They're the,
There we go, there we go.
Philadelphia.
Okay.
I know that we-
Yes, I got it.
Turn and I second the motion.
Okay, we got it, we got it, everything. All those in favor?
Yes.
Meeting is adjourned.
And thank you very much for
Good job.